Hey everyone, it's Taste from Blood of Kittens, and Games Workshop did something that's really cool. So let's talk about it right after this quick intro. Hey everyone, so what is this great news from Games Workshop that I can't be just more excited about? And that is that we're going back to, at least hopefully we're going back to, themed armies. And what I mean by this is that we just got a preview of the Dark Angel's Ravenwing rules. And what is so important about these rules is one particular rule, which I have on my phone, we'll just read it off. In every unit in your army, except unaligned units, has the Dark Angel's keyword, then Dark Angel's Outrider detachments that only contain models with the Ravenwing keyword gain the second company ability. So what is the second company ability? Well, first off, bike squads and outrider units in this detachment gain the objective secured ability. And as well, if your warlord is part of this detachment's command benefits are changed to +3 instead of -3. So what this effectively means is that we have bike units back as troops. Now the conditions are very specific. It's Ravenwing bike riders and outriders, so you have to be, it's very specific. But at the same time, this means that you can run a whole army of bikes without taking any penalties. Of course, that allows you to have 6 fast attacks. That's plenty to choose from. That's Black Knights, your basic Ravenwing squads, Outriders. Plenty of units you can use to take and just be awesome and just not have to pay that CP tax. And of course, you can throw 2 flyers in there. You can throw 1 elite in there. You can do whatever you want. You can do extra little things in there. So it's just such a fantastic change. Now, what this also means, and we'll add, I'm sure we'll get this answer, in a couple next days, is that what does this mean for Deathwing? Of course, the Terminators. Does this mean we're getting a whole Terminator army? A spearhead attachment doesn't cost anything? We can only cross our fingers and hope, but by the time you watch this video, probably, we'll already know that answer. I'm hoping for that. But what is so important about this change is that hopefully this is a preview of what Games Workshop's going to do next for army lists. I hope it's just not a one-off thinking, oh, we'll just give Ravenwing this stuff and Deathwing this stuff and then just be done with it. Let's hope that as codexes come out and more supplements come out and campaign books come out, that this becomes a thing. Back in 7th edition and 6th edition and 5th edition, and 4th edition, we had units that would change force org, or in the case of 7th and 6th, we'd have formations that would basically change your force org. You'd get a formation and you get special bonuses to make your army themed. This is great for fluffy players. This is great for competitive players. This is great for everyone. So let's just talk about what some of these possibilities could mean. And as the way that rule is written, it could be a roadmap for what's the future, but there's also other changes Games Workshop can make that can make it similar, because sometimes there'll be factions that have a themed army that are across a different force slot, so they might have to do something different than just saying this detachment costs nothing and things get objective secured. But let's just go through some examples of what we could see. Number one, I think on a lot of players' lists that are not Space Marine players is this mean we're going to get the return of the Armored Company when the Imperial Guard Astra Militarum book comes out? Can you imagine you're taking a, I think it's, might be Spearhead, I think Spearhead, yeah, Spearhead detachment, and you're taking a ton of Leman Russes. And you can be specific. You can be like, hey, we don't want to give it all to Mana Cores and Basilisks and that sort of thing. We're just going to have all Leman Russ keyword going to get that. And this really also just kind of shows the power of why keywords used effectively is so cool for Games Workshop. And I'm glad they're using it more and more instead of just saying you can get this, you can't get that. By using keywords in this way, like the keyword Leman Russ or the keyword tank or vehicle, you can create, different ways armies can be built. And like with the Ravenwing, this is just another example. Let's take the Armored Company. Imagine a whole fleet of Leman Russ tanks, Basilisks or whatever they decide that they think is it, because you can also have tank commanders. So there you go. You just have a whole Armored Company. Another one I think is going to be on top of people's lists that is also not Space Marine players is going to be the Wraith host for Eldar. It's the Iandan. We've always wanted that Wraith Guard army. We've had it in 7th, we had it back in 6th, where you could basically make Wraith Lords troops. This way they can do the same thing and change whatever the detachment is for elites and make that objective secured, or they can just take the basic battalion and just say, hey, if you take Spirit Seer, they convert these things to objective secured, because if you take a, not a patrol, but if you take a battalion, you already get 6 elites, so you necessarily don't have to take the specific detachment for that, which there might be, now that I think about it, I'll have to put this in here if there is even an elite detachment, because I think because you get the battalion has so many elites, you don't really need one, but maybe there is. I just can't remember the name of it. It said we have Spearhead, Outrider. What is that third one? I can't even remember. Anyway, maybe it doesn't exist anymore. God, this is what happens when you're in COVID. You forget all the rules. But anyway, point is taken is that you could see armies built in this way, like that. So we got Wraith Host, we got Armored Company. What else we can get? Okay, another one, which I loathe to say because they're my least favorite army, is that we could get back to the Crisis Suit army for Tau. We can do it Farsight. You can pick whatever, Sept you think is more apt for that, but I think Farsight is kind of the generally known one to have all the battle suits. So to have that, have the 9 or the 8 or whatever that one special crazy unit is, have that all be objective secured would be awesome. Unless it already is, might be objective secured now, I don't know. But anyway, but you can have crisis suits being objective secured. You don't have to go crazy and make all the stealth suit crisis suits. You can be very specific. Just, your generic run-of-the-mill crisis suits can become troops, and not so troops, but have them get objective secure, which is the key component to troops anyway. So whatever detachment they're in or not in, you can just say, hey, you take Farsight commander, you take a commander that's part of Farsight, you can make these guys objective secured. That's another example. What else do we got? Well, we got the classics that everyone has already howled about, and even Games Workshop made mention of it in their posts, and that, God forbid, we get more supplements for Space Marines, which they'll have to redo for 9th edition eventually. We get the White Scars, and of course the White Scars need their bikes. So this is a case where you can get Scout Bikers would get the objective secure. We would get normal bikers, of course, and the Outriders, again, once again, we'll get that. So it would be kind of the same thing. I imagine they just do the same thing. Maybe give us the Moondraken unit, and make him, so if you take the bike con, you can get this special objective secure bike units. What else we got? We got another one people have been talking about, and that is, of course, Blood Angels jump pack units. Maybe we can get, this is a case also where, since we have different, force orgs that are across different things, so, because everyone wants to run the Sanguinary Guard objective secured army. Of course you do. Beautiful models, beautiful army, give them objective secured. In fact, you know what? You can make it a stratagem before a game. Say, hey, you give a couple units of this. So there's just plenty of ways. Like I said, there's just plenty ways to play with this. There's just, do so much of it. And also back to Eldar, people want the Samhai army of jet bikes. We can go back to that troop thing. Now, the last time we did that, the game was pretty broken by it when it first came out with jet bikers being just ridiculously overpowered, that sort of thing. So those are just the kind of tip of the icebergs, the classics that we can think of about when we're thinking about what Games Workshop can do. And I hope, Games Workshop listens, and this is not the last time, and this is just the first time. Sometimes Games Workshop gets an idea, they bring back something old, and they just give up with it instantaneously instead of just doing it across armies that deserve it. So I'm hoping for Armored Company. That would probably be my next favorite one, even though I don't really play IG. After that, Wraith Host, I would be so down with Wraith Host, and just can be Wraith Guard and Wraith Blades. You don't need to do Wraith Knights or anything if you don't want to go too crazy, Games Workshop, but just do that. There's plenty more, and you know what? If you guys have any ideas of what you think would be a great themed army that should get objective secured, or this sort of like make a unit troop sort of situation, please put it in the comments below as well. This is the end of the video, but I'm just so hyped about this, I just felt I had to get it out. And remember to like and subscribe, and let's just hopefully get to playing some games soon as the lockdowns and all that stuff seem to be going away, hopefully for some places. Let's hope. Talk to you guys later. Have a great day.